My new local library has a checkout limit of up to 25 books at any one time. I'm a little bit overwhelmed. Most of these are library books, but a few of them aren't, so we'll start with those ones. And the first one is actually such a sweet story behind it. This is The Crystal by Max Phillips, and there will be a link in the description for further information about this. But basically this was written by a young boy. One of his friends, his mother was going through cancer, a really heartbreaking story of course, and he wrote this unbeknownst to his own parents to sell it to raise money for a cancer charity, which is such a sweet story. The fact that this young boy went out of his own way to spend, you know, there's a lot of words in here, it's not just a couple of pages, writing this manuscript to raise money for something that isn't technically directly involved with him. It's not like he was raising money for a new bike or something. It's so selfless, and it is really well written as well. I hope this little boy, I hope Max Phillips keeps writing, because I think he has a very good future ahead of him. If you are interested in buying this or finding out further information, as I said, there will be information below. The second one was sent to me by the author for review, and this is The Gift Maker by Mark Mays. This is stunning. I could not put it down. These boxes appear as presents, and inside these boxes there's something mysterious, and it leads them on this really dark and twisted journey. And for me, the element of suspense is what keeps this going. Information is revealed at just the right times. I often find with stories like this that you work out too soon what's going on, but this isn't the case, and I really cared about the characters, and I was absolutely definitely recommend it. And what I liked most is that this is really well published. It's published by Urbane Publications, and I find that a lot of books these days may be well written, but they're poorly published. Not the case here, so I was thrilled. So some of the rest I've read, some of them I haven't. First of all, we have Caraval. Yes, it's gorgeous. I don't really read YA. I had no interest in this before the hype, but then I thought, actually, people are going on about it. I need to see what it's about. Basically, it's about these two sisters who end up on this island where there's this reality, real life kind of magic show they're taking part in, and it's so vast and you can really feel the intensity of it. And I think the thing that I love most about this is that on the one hand I felt really claustrophobic because you're on this island, but at the same time the game show is so vast that you just feel swamped by everything around you. And yeah, it was really enjoyable. I thought, yeah, it's YA, I'm probably not going to like it that much, but it was well written, really likeable characters, and I can understand the hype. One that I haven't read, so can't really comment on, is The Dollhouse, not Ibsen's Dollhouse. This is by M.J. Arlidge. This is a crime fiction story. It's about bodies, dead bodies, murderers, my favourite subjects. So this is with Detective Inspector Helen Grace. I've never read anything by Arlidge, so I'm hoping this is a new crime series that I can fall in love with. One that I have read is The London Movie Guide. This is insane. This is by Simon R.H. James, and to show you an example of a page, here we have just a list of films and where you can find the locations. That's for Charing Cross and Trafalgar Square, and it's just, oh, there's Helena Bonham Carter. There is no fluff. There is no random background information that you don't need. It is just film after film after film. The amount of research that has clearly gone on to this is just incredible. If you are looking to visit London, or if you live in London like me and you want to see some film locations, is Emma Thompson. It's just, it's insane. It's perfect. At last I read The Library. I got this out of a library in Sunderland before I moved down to London, but didn't have time to read it. I guess it was worth the wait. I think the thing about this for me is that it's not what I was expecting. It's about this young girl who finds out that her family, and specifically her father, are caught up in this weird danger, and at some point she goes to a lie tree, and you know, you tell a lie, it gives you some knowledge. The lie tree is really kind of like a subplot. It's not at the forefront of the story like I expected, and it works really well. 3 film books. The first one is this little wee one about the cinemas of Camden, living in the borough of Camden. I'm very excited to see what the kind of cinematic history is right on my doorstep. And then we have 2 that I've actually read. This is Thrillers by Martin Rubin, and it looks at all these subgenres of thrillers. So that, you know, the cop thriller, the horror thriller, the psychological thriller, the kind of neo-noir, and all these different developments in thrillers over the decades. And it's really interesting. I really enjoyed it. And the third one, which was good, this is The Basics Film Studies by Amy Villarejo, I think, and it's not an introductory. There were things in this which I understood, but I only understood them because I read about them in other easier to digest books. It is a great basics if you've already got basic knowledge. But I liked it enough, and I would definitely recommend it to somebody who's ready to build on their knowledge. Third last, we have Dead Time by Anne Casty. Anne Casty was the author to whom I progressed after reading Jacqueline Wilson. I loved looking for JJ and Missing Judy and Love Letters. They were my 3 favourite novels when I was a teenager, and this was lovely. Plus it's set in and around Camden and in Hampstead where I live, so yeah, it was nice. The Pankratz, I've read a lot about the suffragettes. I am a feminist, I love the suffrage history, but I've never read a comprehensive book about the Pankratz themselves. So Sylvia and Christabel Pankhurst, and of course McLean Pankhurst. So providing this is well written, I think it could be quite an interesting little history of their life. And lastly we have Leave the Letters Till We're Dead, The Letters of Virginia Woolf, 1936 to 1941. And I've read a previous volume in this series, and I love them. I love Virginia. Oh, I love her. I mean, I like her novels, but her writing, her personal writing, is just so thrilling. I can't get enough of them. And there are, I think, 4 other volumes in this after I've read this, and I try and savour it. I really do. But I want to just read them all in one sitting. Oh, I love her. Thank you for watching this. If you have any suggestions for books, let me know. And of course, if you've read any of these or have any thoughts, I'd love to hear them. And I will speak to you all soon. Bye.